Check it. Alright, DataZero family, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we're going to be looking at AMC, GME, and SPY. This is your daily update and prediction for AMC, GME, and SPY, the overall market. SQQ, we're going to be looking at as well, and Bitcoin. This is the #1 stop shop for all of your needs for the stock market. This video is not financial advice. We're going to be looking at the stocks on the short and long term, giving you guys prediction and update on where the charts are telling me things are headed, leaving emotion at the door. This channel is based on facts, charts, and data, very analytical. Let's go ahead and hop in and see what we have going on. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. In this video, we'll be looking at AMC, GME, and SPY, our favorite meme stocks and overall stock market. We're also going to be looking at SQQ as well. This video is your daily update for the meme stocks and the overall market, giving you guys all the information that you need to know to get you updated for the next trading week. We're going to be looking at this today. We're going to be looking at where we could see things on Monday and Tuesday. And then in my next couple of videos over the weekend, we're going to be looking at the weekly update and prediction. This is where I give you a weekly candle prediction. So I look at the candles, see what they're looking like, give you a prediction on do I think the candle is going to be red or green for the week for AMC, GME, and SPY. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on. Now, the first thing I want to point out on SPY is we are starting to form this head and shoulders. I pointed out this head and shoulders in the middle of the stream. We talked about this and we talked about the breakdown of this ascending triangle, and you guys can see our ascending wedge marked here in orange, head and shoulders marked here in white. Now, we talked about this here on the stream. You guys can see that this yellow line was the neckline. We did break down below it, retesting it as resistance, moving to the downside. So this is calling for more downside on SPY as it does play out the head and shoulders. The base would take you to about the levels of 428, 427. So look for those two levels to be hit on SPY. It does seem like there is going to be more downside. You can see on the MAC or the moving averages marked here in gold and marked here in white that we are seeing more downside. Okay, this is a death cross. Whenever you see the 50 moving average cross underneath the white moving average, which is the 200 moving average, so when the 50 crosses under the 200, when the gold crosses underneath the white, that is called a death cross. When the opposite happens, it's called a golden cross, and these are technical signals that traders use to determine if a stock is a bullish or bearish. So guys, you can see that we do have this death cross here on the 15-minute time frame, and it is not looking good for SPY on the short term. As far as the long term as well, it is looking bearish on the macro time frame, as we do have a pop to the upside in the VIX. When the VIX goes up, the market goes down, and guys, you can see the VIX had a nasty breakout of this bull flag, breaking to the upside, breaking above this line of sloping resistance, using it as support and moving to the upside even higher. When the VIX goes up, the market goes down. So this is what we're looking at for SPY. Again, this is what we're looking at for SPY, SPY, the overall market, as well as the NASDAQ too. Again, if we go ahead and look at the NASDAQ is in a rising wedge as well. If we go ahead and look at the smaller time frame, we can see that the NASDAQ has a similar head and shoulders setup, except the NASDAQ has not broken its neckline right here. The neckline would be right here at this $13,000 level. When it does break, it will be moving down to about 13,000 even. It is about 13,400, and when it does break, it'll be moving to about 13,000 even, possibly even all the way down to about, or 13,000, I do apologize, 13,300. It will be moving down to about 13,300 when it does break the neckline, and possibly all the way down to 1,300 even. So this is what we're looking at for NASDAQ, SPY, and you can see on NASDAQ it's also working on a death cross as well on the 15-minute time frame. And again, this is on the smaller time frames for both SPY and NASDAQ. When you look at things on the smaller time frame, these are the shorter term moves, what we're going to see in the immediate future. Again, on Monday and Tuesday, we're probably going to see more downside heading towards that 428, 427 level for SPY, and I do think Monday's probably going to be a red day and possibly even Tuesday. It depends how long it takes to get to that 428, 427 level, which is the base of the Head and Shoulders. SPY could eventually come down all the way to 425 after the Head and Shoulders is fully played out. As you guys can see, it did start around this range. If we do see that happen, guys, SPY is going to be in even worse position on the macro time frame, because we do have this ascending support right here, which is part of the macro bear flag. The macro bear flag's at 426 right now. So if SPY goes underneath 426 and confirms that as resistance, that's confirming the macro bear flag on the larger time frames, and this is what would indicate an even larger crash to the downside. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY. Again, we're looking at these levels very, very closely, as we do think a market crash is coming. In my personal opinion, I do think a market crash is coming, and I do think we're going to be seeing more downside. I think that the SPY is going to be filling the gaps down here to the bottom, and also NASDAQ is going to be filling. There's multiple gaps to the downside. When NASDAQ goes down, SQQQ goes up, so that means SQQQ will be bullish, and SQQQ is forming an inverse Head and Shoulders. You have a shoulder here, a head here, and it's forming a second shoulder here. Your neckline would be at about this $21 level. If it does break above $21 using that as support, this thing's going to absolutely take off, and there is multiple gap fills. You have one at 21, you have one here at 25, and here at 32. These gaps will get filled. In my personal opinion, gaps get filled. As you guys can see, if you look on charts, you don't see gaps everywhere because they get filled 99.9% of the time. And if you have 3 of them up there, that is a very, very high statistical average that you are going to fill those gaps. So this one I'm looking at for the overall market and SQQQ. Again, I think SQQQ in the overall macro time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, is very, very bullish. You guys can see that the daily MACD is crossing up. The weekly MACD is bullish, and then the monthly MACD is bullish as well. And then if we go ahead and look at SPY, the monthly MACD is curling down. You guys can see that the weekly MACD is bearish, and the daily MACD is starting to slowly curl down as well. These are all signs that the overall macro is bearish, and we're going to be seeing a lot more downside in the overall market, especially with the increase of the VIX and of course the US dollar. When the dollar goes up, the market goes down, and the dollar also broke out of a major bull flag, again putting a ton of bearish pressure on the market. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY. That's what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and hop into AMC GME and show you guys what's going on for our meme stocks. As far as crypto is concerned, as far as the overall crypto market is concerned, I do think we are going to see a pop to the upside. You guys can see that it is forming this overall bullish flag right here. This is a falling wedge. This is a falling wedge. I do apologize. It's not a bull flag. This is a falling wedge. Some people would call it a bull flag, but this is a falling wedge. And I do believe we are going to see a pop to the upside on Bitcoin back up to about that $28,000 level. I do believe Bitcoin is setting up for a bullish move into 2024, mid-2024, 2024, around that range for a new bull run. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin and the overall market. Now let's hop into the meme stocks. So let's show you guys some of the data sets going on for AMC. Let's go ahead here and refresh so we have the newest data. And this thing did come out with Adam Aaron being the victim of a possible extortion. So we just want to notify that, guys. I'm not going to dig too deep into it. I talked about it on the stream. I'm not going to dig too deep in it. I just mentioned it because it is news that involves AMC. Now you guys can see that short interest is at 7.84%. So we did see a slight decrease in short interest. This is something you want to keep in mind. Okay, this is something you want to keep in mind. If we see short interest going even lower, that is indicative of shorts obviously doing what? Covering, and we could see some more massive price action to the upside. We're going to be talking about AMC price action here very, very shortly. Utilization is sitting at 47%. Cost to borrow is sitting at 1.94. Shares on loan is sitting at 22.44 million. Days to cover is at 1.3. So that's for AMC. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on for GameStop. Let's show you guys what's going on for GameStop. All right, short interest is at 20.71. So short interest is decent for GameStop. You can see that utilization is sitting at 86.24%. You can see that cost to borrow is sitting at 3.4. You can see that shares at loan is sitting at 73.26 million, and days to cover sitting at 24.86. So that's what I'm looking at for GameStop. We can go ahead and show you how many shares they have available to borrow. For AMC is 3.3 million, and then how many shares they have for GameStop is 450,000. They were dumping a ton of shares on GameStop, and we did take note of that here during the stream. I'll show you real quick how we do know that they were doing that, dumping the shares here. I'll show you how we know this. You guys can see that they had 1.8 million short shares, and now they only have 450. That's obviously indicative of them using the shares over this time period between 19 hours ago and 4 hours ago. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the charts for GameStop. And again, on the weekly prediction update, I'll go over everything, but I did predict green weeks for all three. And you can see that SPY, GameStop, and AMC did have green weeks, so I did get those right. And then tune in tomorrow for another weekly update and prediction for the candle prints. What are the candles going to be? Now, let's go ahead and hop into GME stock. So GME on the short term, guys, GME on the short term is an impossible bear flag. We could see this breakdown on Monday. I do think we could see GME actually come back down to retest $14.45. I think that is also in a head and shoulders. You can see that there's a shoulder here, a head here, and then it's going to form another shoulder when it drops down to 1440. I do believe that if it drops down to 1440, in my personal opinion, I'm going to be picking more up. I'm going to be buying some more at that level. I think that it's going to see a nice bounce after this drop, okay? This is not financial advice. This is just what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to have this drop, possibly even a little bit lower than that 14.40, maybe even $14 even, okay? I think it's going to have a decent drop, and I'm going to be buying. I think it's going to have a nice recovery after this drop. If we look at the macro is overall shifting bullish. Daily MACD green. The weekly MACD, again, is showing that we could have a little bit more downside with RSI and the MACD. So, again, that's why I'm thinking we could come just a little bit lower. But it does look like we are setting up for a decent move, setting up at the tip of this wedge here. And it is looking like we are going to be able to break out of it as the sloping resistance becomes lower and lower and lower. We are going to find support and get a pop to the upside. I believe they were shorting GameStop so heavily because they don't want AMC and GameStop running together. They want to keep these problems separated, and they need to keep these things under control. So while AMC was running, they needed to make sure GameStop was managed and maintained in control. And GameStop being a lower float stock is easier to short because you can use less shares to cause more movement. So again, I do think GameStop is going to be coming down to this 1445 level, 1440 in that range. I do think this bear flag is going to be breaking down, retesting these lower lows. There are multiple gap fills to the upside on GameStop. They're at 14, 16, 18. There's a ton of them. Okay, I stopped marking them all because there's too many for GameStop. There's also ones that are permanently there at 30 and $70, which been there for quite some time since the last run up. Those will get filled, in my personal opinion. Gaps get filled, guys. You can see that. So I do think those gaps will get filled as GameStop makes a macro triple bottom and breaks out of this macro falling wedge that we've been tracking for absolutely forever. We have a triple bottom here as well. Bottom number 1, bottom number 2, bottom number 3. I also think it's playing out a Wyckoff accumulation starting here at this horizontal line. I believe the Wyckoff accumulation starts, and that would take us all the way back up to at least the $40 level. If you go ahead and look at a Wyckoff accumulation schematic and lay it over GME's price action at that point where I show you the white horizontal line, or vertical line, I do apologize, white vertical line. The white vertical line is up and down vertical. You will see that it looks like a Wyckoff accumulation. Bottom number 1, bottom number 2, bottom number 3 being lower because it's the spring. Bottom number 1, bottom number 2, bottom number 3 being lower because it's the spring. Bottom 1, bottom 2, bottom 3 being lower because it's the spring. So I think that's what's playing out on GameStop, and you can see it looks exactly like a Wyckoff accumulation in my personal opinion. So that's what I'm looking at for GME. It will come back up, fill in the gaps when it plays out the triple bottom. And again, the macro always plays out. It just takes time. So as far as a long-term accumulation swing trade, I'm holding, I'm buying, I'm holding, I'm buying. That's what I'm doing on GameStop. I believe it's going to be highly profitable, especially here at these low levels. This is where you look to buy when things are beat down, when RSI is low, when things are nearing the bottom. That's where you look to buy to get maximum financial opportunity. So that's what I'm looking at for GME. Let's go ahead and hop into AMC. So again, GameStop, real quick recap. I think we're going to come down on to 1440 on Monday. Now, let's go ahead and hop into AMC, and then the overall macro is bullish. I think we'll get a nice bounce afterwards. AMC is in a potential bear flag, guys. Same thing. AMC is in a potential bear flag. We could see more downside, okay? I always have to tell you guys how it is. That's why you watch this channel, so you can plan accordingly, so you can do what you need to do, and you can understand what's going on and understand the charts. Hopefully that's why you watch this channel. I know some people unsubscribe because they don't like hearing that AMC is going to go down, but unfortunately I have to tell you, I have to tell you what I have to tell you guys, what the charts are saying. I'm just the messenger, don't shoot the messenger. But right here's a bear flag, guys. Right here's a bear flag, and AMC is probably going to see a little bit more downside. You can see that RSI is close to oversold on the 2-hour time frame, and on the 4-hour time frame we have a little bit more downside. So guys, you definitely could see more downside coming down to fill this gap at 925. There's a gap at 925, and there's a gap at 7. I lost a gap earlier while we were streaming. I accidentally deleted it, but I believe it's at 780. I believe 780. I'm not 100%, so I can't give you guys the gap to the downside. I believe it's 780, but don't quote me on that. But we do have one here 100% at 925. So we do want to be watching that particular move right there. The bear flag would probably break here on Monday. You guys can see that we're working on a possible death cross on the smaller time frames. On the 5-minute time frame, we already have a death cross. So again, we could definitely see a lot more downside. If we go ahead and look at the alligator and pop on the 30-minute time frame, you guys can see the alligator spread fairly far apart, and the MACD and everything, the setup's indicative of a bear flag. MACD slightly flips green. It doesn't turn very green. It just slightly flips green in most bear flags. So yeah, this is indicative of a bear flag. We'll probably see a breakdown pre-market or Monday morning. In my personal opinion, we're going to be looking at $9.25, and $8.50 as support. Okay, I have the support and resistance marked here. $9.25, $9 even, and $8.50 are what we're going to be looking at for support for AMC. Again, unfortunately, guys, I want to tell you that it's bullish. I want to tell you that we're going to the moon, but I can only tell you what I'm looking at, okay? I can only tell you what the charts are telling me. Now, there is a chance that we do get a recovery. You guys can see that RSI is oversold here on the hourly time frame, and the MACD is curling up. There's a chance. But again, it looks like we're going to have a little bit more downside, probably to about at least $9.25. $9 even in my personal opinion, before getting a bounce to upside. We can go ahead and kind of mark what that would look like. Something similar to this. Now, this is not 100% what I think is going to happen, but it is something similar to what we would probably see. Breaking down out of this bear flag, slowly trending down or consolidating pre-market, and then seeing a dump early morning in the morning or in pre-market, finding a bottom at $9.25 around that range, and then moving back up. That's what I'm looking at in my personal opinion. I do think that if we do make a higher low, that's extremely bullish. I am bullish on overall on AMC. I think the macro looks good. I think we're going to be coming back up to fill these gaps to the upside. There's multiple gap fills to the upside on AMC. There's one here at like 12. There's one here at, it's like 11 to 12. And then you guys see them here on your screen, 16 to 19 and 37 to 43. So I do think it's going to go fill those gaps. Gaps get filled. That's why you don't see gaps on charts. They get filled. That's why you don't see a bunch of gaps all over the charts. They get filled 99.9% of the time. So I do think these gaps are going to get filled back to the upside. If you look at the overall macro, we do have bullish MACD on the daily. On the weekly, it is curling up. We have RSI under 30. That is a very bullish sign. You want to be buying things when they're down low, when they're beat down, when RSI is low. That way you can make the most amount of money. If you go ahead and look at the market psychology chart, it tells you basically the same thing. The point of maximum financial opportunity is the absolute bottom. You want to buy in the anger depression phase when people are saying my retirement money is lost. How can we pay for all this new stuff? I'm an idiot. Who shorted the market? Why did the government allow this to happen? When people are doing like that, things like that, capitulating 100%, getting out of the markets, I can't afford to lose more. When people are saying these types of things, that's when you want to be buying, accumulating, and making your position, and not when people are saying I'm a genius, we're all going to be rich, in those euphoria type moments. That's when you want to be letting go of your position. So again, as far as AMC on the macro, I do think we are looking bullish. I think we are going to make a recovery. I think AMC's fundamentals are improving with the Taylor Swift concerts. These data metrics will be coming out, and when the data metrics for the Taylor Swift concerts come out, I do believe they're going to absolutely crush. There's a possibility that even earnings is going to be good, and if earnings is good, again, guys, you guys can see that AMC has absolutely been crushing earnings. 125% up on its last earnings. 125, 126, right there, 123% in its last earnings, guys. So AMC's been absolutely crushing on earnings, while other companies don't even do that. I think AMC is profitable. The fundamentals are good. It is not going bankrupt. That is all FUD, guys. It's all FUD, and I think we are going to see a push to the upside as far as the macro is concerned for AMC and GME. That is just what I'm saying as far as a long-term accumulation swing trade. The gaps will get filled on GME. The gaps will get filled on AMC. The percentages are decent on those gaps. It's 120% gain on GameStop, maybe more. On AMC, it's a 500% gain when the gap is filled. If the prices go even higher, obviously you can get more percentage gains. I'm also holding SQQQ. You never want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So I do have multiple strategies. I'm holding SQQQ, and I also trade SPY, SQQ, things like that, GameStop, AMC, making profits and then rolling into a larger overall position. I also hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, things of that nature, because again, you never want to put all of your chips in one bag. And I also think crypto is going to be a lot better than the stock market, and that is where I'm putting a lot of my gains. I'm rolling them out of the stock market and into the crypto market. Dollar cost averaging here at these lows, because I do think Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more money, and crypto is going to be worth a lot more money in the future. And if you have ever experienced a crypto bull run, you know how crazy those things will get. But guys, this is pretty much everything I have for you. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this, and remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. On the Discord, I drop buy and sell signals. These buy and sell signals help you get an advantage in the market, giving you a top percent advantage, guys. You can have to be a top percent player in the market. It is a finite game. There are only winners and there are only losers, and unfortunately 90% of the people lose money in the market. So if you join the Discord, $50 for a lifetime invite, which is extremely cheap. You can ask the people that have joined. It is extremely cheap for what I'm providing, guys. You can get an edge in the market, technical analysis, buy and sell signals. If you want to get involved, hit me up on my email. My email is DataZeroOfficial5. The information will be linked down in the bottom of the description as well. DataZeroOfficial5. Hit me up and ask me about the Discord. I will send you payment information. Once you make payment via Cash App or PayPal, I will send you the link. It's as easy as that. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on my business email, DataZeroOfficial5 as well. And guys, if you want to support me for absolutely free, all you have to do is simply drop a like, leave a comment, or share the video. These are great ways to help me out absolutely for free, and I truly appreciate all you guys, because you are the best community making sure that you show your support, and I greatly appreciate it. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. Alright, y'all, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. And as always, man, I appreciate each and every one of you. There would be no DataZero without you guys. So as always, I appreciate you guys. And if you want to get more DataZero content, you can check me out on Twitter. And I do have a Discord as well. The Discord is $50 for a lifetime invite. All you have to do is send me an email and pay via PayPal or Cash App. Just send me an email saying, hey, I want to join the Discord. I'll go ahead and hit you back and send you a little bit of information about the Discord, basically how the buy and sell signals work, stuff like that, how to make payment. And then once you make payment, I'll send you the link. It's as easy as that. But if you want to support me for absolutely free, all you got to do is simply drop a like, leave a comment, and press subscribe. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.